Hi dear students, this is Dr. Sharmili, Assistant Professor in Division of Agronomy, School of Agriculture Sciences, Karan Institute of Technology and Sciences, Coimbatore. In this video recording, let us see what are the different types of manures available which can be applied as organic source of nutrient to your crop plants. Before entering into the title, first let us clear what is manure first. Manures are nothing but they are any source of organic materials which we can derive from either animal source or human waste or even plant residues which is left over in the field after harvest of a economic part, and these residues they contain a complex form of nutrients in them, complex in the sense both macro and micro in different proportions, and these can be applied as a source of organic nutrient to our crop plants. So let us see some of the sources from which we can obtain this organic manures. So first is we can get it from cattle shed waste, that cow dung, cow urine, slurry from your biogas plants, and sewage and sludge from human habitat areas, poultry droppings, the litters of sheep and goat, and slaughterhouse waste, which include bones, blood, hoof, horn, and after cleaning your fish for food, the waste of fish can be used as one of the source of organic manure. And also the byproducts available in agro-based industries like oil cakes. Oil cakes are nothing but after extraction of oil, the remaining portion we call it as oil cake. There are two types of oil cake actually. One is edible oil cake and non-edible oil cake. Edible oil cake is can be fed as nutrient. Can be fed as food to cows, goat, and sheep. And there are some oil cakes which are non-edible, like your neem oil cake. And these non-edible oil cakes can also be used as a source of manures. And bagasse, pressmud, fruit and vegetable industry waste, everything can be used as a source of manure. Apart from this, the leftover crop residue in the field after the crop harvest can also be used. And in lakes and ponds, you would have absorbed water grown aquatic floating plants like lily, water hyacinth, with weeds around there can also be used, and tank silt, that is deposition, bottom deposition of the tanks can also be form ponds, tanks can also be used as a good source of nutrient. And apart from this, another source of nutrient is green manure and green leaf manure. And when you see this organic manure, they are further classified into bulky organic manure and concentrated organic manure. Now let us see them one by one. So first is your bulky organic manure. Bulky organic manure, as the name indicates, we have to apply in larger quantity, bulk quantity, because they contain only small proportion of nutrient in them. That is why we have to apply in large quantity to meet the nutrient demand of the crop plants. So first important bulky organic manure is farmyard manure. Farmyard manure is nothing but, from the name itself we can understand what the farmers will be having in their farmyard. Mostly the farmers will be having cattle shed. So those cattle shed waste like cow dung, cow litter, roughages, leftover feed after animal feeding, everything can be used, can be decomposed and used as manure. And this well decomposed farmyard manure will have nutrient in the ratio of 0.5 is to 0.2 is to 0.5 percentage of nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium in them. And next is sheep and goat manure. Sheep and goat manure is a very good source of nutrient. They contain 3 is to 1 is to 2 ratio of NPK in them. And this droppings of sheep and goat can be applied in the field by two methods. Either we can collect it from goat shed and then apply it in the field, or else you can go for sheep penning, which is very common in dryland areas. And next important source of your organic manure is poultry manure. Poultry manure is the excreta of the poultry, the litter droppings of the poultry can be properly decomposed and it can be used as a manure. Now one of the important thing which we have to consider while decomposing this poultry manure is it produces more heat. So only after very well decomposition we can use it as manure. And this poultry manure contains a nutrient approximately in the ratio of 3 is to 2.6 is to 1.4. And then comes the sewage and sludge. Sewage and sludge are nothing but these are the solid proportion of waste, and the sludge is the is called the sewage lines. We call it as sludge, and the liquid the flowing above this sludge we call it as sewage water, which can be collected from human inhabited areas, and it has to be properly purified, and then with various purification processes, and then it can be used as a source of manure, and it contains nutrient in the ratio of 3 to 6 percentage of nitrogen, 2 percentage of phosphorus, and 1 percentage of potassium. The important thing to note in this usage of this sewage and sludge as manure is very carefully we have to, we should be very cautious, because it may contain heavy metal pollutants in them, which will contaminate our field. Heavy metal contamination will occur. So properly we have to purify it. It has to undergo various purification processes, and then we can use it as manure. Next comes green manures. Green manure is a very commonly used bulky organic manure. Green manure is nothing but it can be any leguminous crop, quick growing leguminous crop. Because why we prefer leguminous crop is, you all know, leguminous crop, they have root nodules. They produce root nodules for atmospheric nitrogen fixation. So once we incorporate these crops in the field, what happens is these root nodules will release nitrogen to the next sown crop plants. So in green manuring, what we do is we will grow any leguminous quick growing crops between two successive crops. That is, if I have a minimum a period of 50 to 60 days between one crop to another, where it may be summer, it may be a period of low water availability. So in that time, farmers will leave their field without any crops. In that time, what we can do is we can grow any green manure crops like sesbania, or any pulse crops like your cowpea, cluster bean, black gram, green gram, whatever it is which is available, which is locally available, and it should be a quick growing crop, can be grown. And once it attains 50% flowering stage, it can be incorporated in the same field as a manure. This type of manuring we call it as green manure. And for a good green manure crop, it should be a short duration crop, fast growing. It should have high nitrogen accumulation rate by atmospheric N fixation, high water use efficiency, and very importantly, it should be a very good adaptable to the local climatic condition. It should be tolerant to shade, flood, or even drought and adverse weather conditions, and it should provide abundant tops, which is very good for incorporation. It should be photo insensitive, high seed production, and seed viability should be very good. And very importantly, it should be pest and disease resistant, and it should not pass over any pest and disease to the next sown crop plant, and should produce high. For instance, if we don't have any long gap like 50 days, 60 days between two successive crops, and but we have to incorporate green manure, is another option. Better option for this is green leaf manure. Green leaf manures are nothing but we can collect green leaves, twigs, young leaves from trees, shrubs, and herbs which is grown in and around your farmland. It can be collected and it can be applied in your cropland, and then it can be incorporated. Some of the important green leaf manure species are Glycidia, indigo, subabul, calotropis, etc. And then vermicompost. Vermicompost we call vermicompost as black gold, because it contains very huge, very good complex of nutrients in them. You can see in this slide different proportions of growth promoting hormones and plant nutrients, or everything are available in complex form in vermicompost. Vermicompost are nothing but the compost which is produced by earthworms. We call it as vermicompost. So when in a vermicompost pit, after dumping the farm waste, partially decomposed farm waste, we have to release earthworms in it. These earthworms will feed on those organic materials, and the vermicast, the fecal excretion of the worms, we call it as vermicast, and those cast is called as vermicompost, which is a very good source of nutrient to the crop plants. And then comes concentrated organic manures. Concentrated organic manure, as the name indicates, it contains nutrients in concentrated form. That is, it when compared to bulky organic manure, it contains more amount of nutrients in them when compared to bulky organic manures. So, and hence it will be applied in lesser quantity when compared to bulky organic manures. One of the important source of concentrated organic manure is oil cake. Oil cakes are nothing but, as I said, after extraction of oil, the leftover waste material, we call it as oil cakes. And this oil cake are of two types. Those are edible oil cake and non-edible oil cake. Edible oil cake, as the name indicates, it can be fed to your livestock as a feed, like your coconut oil cake, sesame oil cake, sunflower oil cake, everything. Whereas non-edible oil cake cannot be fed to a livestock, like neem cake, castor cake, etc. And these oil cakes are very good source of nutrition. And in this slide, you can see different nutrient content of various oil cakes. For example, castor cake, it contains 4.3 is to 1.8 is to 1.3 percentage of NPK content in them. Linseed cake, it contains 4.9 is to 1.4 is to 1.3 percentage of NPK in them. And these are some of the other concentrated organic manures and their nutrient content: blood meal, meat meal, fish meal, horn and hoof meal, raw bone meal, steamed bone meal. These are some of the the various nutrient organic source, concentrated organic sources. And also, till now we saw what is manure, what are the different source of organic manures available, and what are the different types of organic manures available. Now let us conclude our session with the advantages of organic manures. When compared to chemical form of fertilizers, organic manures are highly advantageous. There is a saying that if you apply fertilizers to your crop land, it will feed your plants. Whereas if you apply organic manure to your crop plant, it will feed the soil. Soil will in turn feed your plants, and it will sustain forever. So applying organic manure is highly advantageous. Like, it contains many source of complex form of nutrients in them, and also it will improve the soil physical properties. Aeration will be good, soil water holding capacity will be good, cation exchange capacity will be good, and very importantly, soil microorganism activity is found to be increased in field where organic manures are applied. And also there are many sources which have been proved that in the field which is organically maintained, the incidence of pests and diseases are found to be reduced. So from this itself we can understand how advantageous is to apply organic source of manure to your crops. Thank you.